So far, our episodes have focused on students attending traditional high schools in Sioux Falls. And if you met our next senior on the street, you could be forgiven if you took him for a traditional high school student. He is anything but. In this episode of Senior Spotlight, we travel to New Technology High School, where senior Daniel Murillo is taking full advantage of the education he's been offered. What you're seeing is actually a rare sight. Daniel Murillo is a senior at New Tech High, but honestly, he's not at the school all that much.
In the mornings I have STI classes, social problems, introduction to computers, and in the afternoons after lunch I take health careers at CTE. New Tech is great because it lets you take college classes, considering how close we are with STI. Last semester I took 2. This semester I was selected for Learners to Leaders, and they give you free books and everything. And so I'm taking another 2 this semester and next semester also.
That's right. This senior is not only completing his final year of high school, he's also in the Learners to Leaders program, currently earning credits at Southeast Tech. He already has some college courses completed, and...
Well, and I haven't seen him too much this year. I'll actually get to see him in the spring because he's taking my AP Government class.
Maybe not so far this year, but New Tech teacher George Hawkins did have Daniel in class last year, and it's safe to say he left an impression.
Got to know him last year. He was junior last year in my American Experience course, and he's just kind of a magnetic personality. He's very outgoing, he's very energetic, and he's somebody that's very engaging. Whether or not it's something that he's extremely interested in or not, he's somebody that is very personal and kind of draws people in. And so he's kind of one of those students that you love having in class because they're hard workers, but at the same time they're gonna help their peers and inspire them. And at a school like this, he's kind of pure gold.
Maybe it's worth backing up and explaining what a school like this exactly is.
It's based on the idea that the real world is not just this one subject. It interacts with the rest of the subjects in the world. And so in our American Experience class, we kind of think of it as the U.S. history being our road, and it's kind of taking us where we're going throughout time. But that English course is then kind of that scenery. It wraps around. It really infuses what we're learning, from the history in that time, and then kind of what it means and how it connects and whatnot. And so, then in that we fuse together what's happening in terms of the books they're reading or the essays they're writing about with films we're watching, how they're tying into say like the history components. So like in the Civil War, we'll see glory, but then we'll have to write a paper comparing and contrasting to say another movie we watch. And so they all kind of we find ways to tie everything together. I heard about New Tech and it intrigued me, the idea that it was project-based learning and that it was just a different format, different style. It's not me standing in front of a classroom droning on. It's the students kind of delving in, hands-on, creating something and showing me what they understand beyond just paper and pencil.
For Daniel, it also seemed like the perfect fit.
They had recruiting, I guess you would call it. They would come in, they would talk about it, what really it is, how it helps you. I decided I want to come here because it would propel me forward and help me get in front of all my peers, I guess you could say. Kind of competitive that way, but I wanted to get a step ahead, get a leg up, and get some college classes done, get some AP courses maybe, or do as much as I can to be better. After my first 2 years, I had a lot of I had a lot of freedom in classes that I wanted to take or where I wanted to take those classes, and I really, really enjoy that.
He's a unique individual because of his personality, his hard work, and his desire to be better. But he's does extremely well here in the environment because the fact that it's project-based learning and you need to work with your students, your peers, and kind of get them on board and move yourselves along. And so he's a great leader within that. He's not one that you might particularly think he's not a rah-rah whatnot, but he's one that will get you on board because he'll lay out plans or he'll figure out a way that how to bring you in. So he's somebody that finds what needs to be done, and finds what he needs from you and what you can do, and kind of gets the most out of you.
Getting the most out of his classmates, getting the most out of his education. Daniel has clear motivations for his energy and drive.
My parents always pushed me to be the best I could be. So either I'm going to be a lawyer or I'm going to be a doctor. I'm thinking university center for cost efficiency. I'll get my diploma as a welder to try to help pay for that while I'm going through college. So a little bit of everything.
If that were the extent of Daniel's story, that might be enough. But we're just getting started.
Soccer, I would say, is his passion.
So ever since I was a little kid, I always played around with my cousins, my uncles. Even now when we get together for weddings or anything of the like, we all get together and we play. So I've been playing since I was 11 for a club team. It's called Tempo NT, South Dakota. And I play year-round, outdoors, indoors, in gyms, all the time. And then for high school, I started playing my freshman year. And my sophomore year, I started to play varsity, and we were champions that year. So it's really fun, and meet a lot of people through it. Travel a lot of places, it's great.
New Tech doesn't have its own soccer team, so Daniel plays for his home attendance high school, Lincoln. And he's more than just some player on the team.
Daniel, I think, is a great representation of Lincoln soccer. He's been with us for 4 years. Excellent work ethic out of Daniel, and I really appreciate having him out here. We have 3 seniors this year. Actually, we started with 4. We had an injury, so we're down to 3 seniors, a lot of juniors, a couple sophomores, and a couple of freshmen is all. We definitely always have a couple senior captains. So this year, you know, for instance, we have Daniel Murillo as a senior captain, as well as Trace Dobson. You know, we really look for a legacy from year to year as far as how our program runs. We don't change a lot, and so the seniors really set the tone for the program. They understand what it means to be the intensity on the field that we require, as well as just a good citizenship on the sidelines. So he's in the center mid for us. His sophomore year, I put him in the state championship game, and he scored our only goal to win it late. And he's stuck around in the center of the park there for us these last 2 years. So he really pushes into the attack for us when we're driving. This year I've asked him to sit back a little bit more and hold down the midfield for us. He's keeping our midfield organized and really being the leader in the midfield to make sure that everybody stays marked up. As long as we keep that organization together, that's what I expect out of him. Beyond that, I do imagine he will be you know, first team all-state player.
It's a situation where it could be weird that a student from another school is a leader on the team, but it absolutely isn't.
Last year, he was voted in as our junior captain, even though he goes to New Tech High School. So the team really respects him, enjoys being around him, even though they don't see him on a day-to-day basis.
Soccer captain for Lincoln, New Tech High senior, college student. It's not surprising Daniel fills even bigger roles for his school and his peers.
Well, we have Titan ambassadors, which I know he served in the past, which is, I mean, right, it's being the face of our student body, and so going out and kind of recruiting aspects, and I would say even before he was a senior, but even more now, I mean, he really has been an individual that students have looked up to and kind of been a role model, and this is who a Titan is. And so even though he is here a little bit, the times we do see him, you know, he is an individual who clearly has presence, and that other students, freshmen, sophomores, whatnot, kind of look to and say, you know, that's what we should be doing, or that's who we should be following.
I've been doing that for 2 years now, actually. I give tours. There's a lot of schools from Brookings, new college professors that want to be teachers, or anything of the sort that come here to New Tech. I give them tours, tell them what we do. I take them around the 4 hallways that we have. I show them what's what. I also go to Edison Middle School on at least once or twice a year to say, hey, this is New Tech High, this is what we do. All the high programs for high school, I'm usually a part of that. Every, I don't know, maybe it's May that we all go, and then they come at visits. I also help with that. I get to meet a lot of people. I get to tell them, you know, a lot of people you say, I go to New Tech High, oh, where's that at? You know, what do they do there? I tell them, and I don't know, it feels great.
Yet, there's more.
My sophomore year, I was elected to be on the superintendent's forum for Dr. Marr. So every quarter, I go to Hy-Vee along with fellow peers from different schools, and we have breakfast with the superintendent. And he brings topics to us that he wants to get feedback on from our peers and what we are actually thinking, instead of just going ahead and doing what adults think. He'll talk to high school students and see what we think from anything like the schedule change that came in not so long ago, or the breakfast carts that give you breakfast. And so we discuss a whole lot of things from there. We always have a voice in that regard. Every school does, to tell him, hey, this isn't working, or hey, this was going on the other day at school and it's becoming a problem, or something like that.
Ambassador, liaison to the superintendent, is there anything we're missing? Well, there is one thing.
I was born in Mexico, and I came here when I was in 3rd grade. And so I went to Hawthorne, Laura Wilder, Garfield, all those schools with ELL programs so I could learn English.
Which partially helps explain his passion for soccer.
So being born in Mexico, soccer is #1. It goes church, soccer, and family. That's the levels of importance in Mexico in my family.
His heritage actually helped his soccer team in another way.
And actually, last year, Daniel was my main translator for some kids that were new to our country even, that were hard to communicate out of the gates, but his being bilingual helped me out a lot. I had a couple kids who just came from Puerto Rico, as well as another gentleman from Guatemala last year that barely spoke any English out of the gates and were really hard to communicate with tactically. You know, they understood the game and you can kind of point them, but when I needed to break it down, I'd bring Daniel over to translate for me.
But being an immigrant as an elementary student wasn't easy.
It was something else. Mexico is very, very, very different from America. And I lived on the border, so I had some sort of relations with English, but it took me a while to learn the language. And all my teachers told me to read constantly, and maybe that's why I'm a book nerd today, because to learn English I had to read a lot.
Teachers haven't stopped helping him or believing in him since.
You know, he's one that's just always active and knows he's got a plan for his life. Because you know, I just talked to him the other day, and he's going to CTE, taking biology classes, thinking, you know, he might go to the medical profession. I think I inspired him enough a little bit. He's maybe thinking about law school, which is why he's taking AP Government. So he's one who's got lots of doors open. It's just a matter of which one he kind of wants to walk through.
All the teachers here, they work with you on a one-on-one level, so you really know what you're doing. They don't have 300 kids that go through their doors every day. They have top 60. And so they get to know you, they get to work with you. It works really well. There's always great people helping me out. Miss Jorgensen, very, very good. I guess she supervises all activities advocating New Tech. And I've worked with her a lot, giving tours, helping out. My coaches for soccer, Doug Townsend, great coach, knows how to work with kids, knows how to get us to win. It's great.
Daniel also heavily credits his parents and his faith for his success.
My parents overall are #1 influence in my life. My religion is really big. Keeps me straight, in a straight line. Helps me reach my goals. I'm very thankful for my parents because they've really taught me, and they still make me balance everything out. I get home about, I don't know, maybe 4, and my mom makes me sit down and do homework for an hour. I go to practice, I come back. They're always on me. Did you do your homework? Did you finish what you needed to do? Checking my grades, keeping me on task.
Influences which have clearly paid off.
Daniel's a student that, you know, is a great example of an individual who's going to succeed in life because, you know, his determination, his desire, his drive. You know, he's a hard worker that we were lucky that he wanted to come to us. And so we're glad we have him, and we're glad that he has, you know, been here for the 4 years and kind of really exemplifies what a Titan is.
In the time since these interviews were conducted, Daniel was also voted 2016 Homecoming King at New Technology High School. To learn more about what it means to be a New Tech Titan like Daniel, visit the Sioux Falls School District's website.